The gate was left open, just wide enough to wonder. So I've been and never looked back. Fireflies are dancing in the dark between the leaves. The jasmine's heavy in the summer air tonight. The moon is watching, casting silver on the stone. A garden keeps its secrets better than most. Darling, kick your shoes off in the grass. Let the night soil tell you where to stand. Midnight garden swing. The roses don't care what time it is. Swing into the green. Let the ivy pull you in. Sha-la-la. Barefoot on the cobblestone, just you and the dark, growing wild and free, so bloom. The fountains murmuring a song nobody wrote, the kind that only water seems to know. Oh, old stone benches worn by years of sitting still. This garden held 100 lives before. Honey, nothing that grows here is in a hurry. Take the long way around the wisteria. Midnight garden swing. The roses don't care what time it is. Swing into the green. Let the ivy pull you in. Sha-la-la. Barefoot on the cobblestone, just you and the dark, growing wild and free, so bloom. An owl called out once, then the garden went quiet again. Midnight garden swing. Come back when the morning glory opens. Keep on swinging, baby. Every season brings a different kind of grace. Sha-la-la. Back through that same gate, same path, same wonder. Moonlight and jasmine and grace. The gate swung shut behind me softly. Midnight garden, still growing, still growing. Still growing. She had a map she never opened. Said she liked getting lost on purpose. I believed her, still do. We found a diner somewhere off the highway, the kind with sticky menus and a jukebox in the corner. The waitress knew our order before we sat down. That kind of place only exists when you're not looking for it. Darling, let's never take the freeway again. The back roads know things the GPS doesn't. Fog and freckles, early morning windows full of nothing. Swing into the unknown, coffee going cold in the cup holder. Sha-la-la, no signal on the radio, just static and you. That's enough for me, so enough. She drew a star on the map where the diner was. back someday and mean it. The sun came through the fog around 11, turned everything gold for about 4 minutes. Honey, 4 minutes of gold is worth the whole drive. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Fog and freckles, early morning windows full of nothing. Swing into the unknown, coffee going cold in the cup holder. Sha-la-la, no signal on the radio, just static and you. That's enough for me, so enough. She fell asleep before the next town. I kept driving anyway. Fog and freckles, pull over whenever the view asks you to. Keep on swinging, baby, the best days don't show up on any calendar. Shala, back on that same road, same fog, different year. Open windows and her laughing grace. The map still in the glove box, still folded wrong. Fog and freckles, drive on, drive on. The carousel stopped turning years ago, but somebody oiled the gears last Tuesday. I heard it from 3 blocks away and ran like a kid who knew better. Faded horses froze in mid-gallop, paint chipped down to something more honest underneath. The operator had a thermos and a paperback. Neither of us mentioned how strange this all was. Baby, broken beautiful things have a way of calling out to certain people. Dusty carousel, going round to nowhere in particular. Swing into the spin, let the old music box do the talking. Dee-doo-ah, Calliope wheezing out a half-remembered tune just slightly off. Perfectly imperfect, so right. A little girl asked her dad what song that was. He said he didn't know, but hummed along anyway. That's the thing about melodies nobody wrote down. They belong to whoever needs them most. Honey, nostalgia isn't sadness, it's just love with nowhere left to go. Dusty carousel, going round to nowhere in particular. Swing into the spin, let the old music box do the talking. Dee-doo-ah, Calliope wheezing out a half-remembered tune just slightly off. Perfectly imperfect, so right. Got off. Dusty carousel, ride it one more time before the season ends. Keep on swinging, baby, the music plays as long as someone keeps showing up. Dee-doo-ah, back to that same carnival, same creek, same wonder. Rust and music boxes and grace. It stopped again at sundown. waited to see if it would start back up. Dusty carousel, still turning, still turning, still turning. The red one on the corner still works. I know because I tried it last Thursday. Don't ask me why. I just needed to hear a dial tone. There's something about a chord you can't walk away from. Forces you to mean what you say and stay put. The rain was coming down the glass and rivers, and I talked longer than I had any right to. Baby, wireless never gave us anything that a little chord and commitment couldn't do better. Telephone box, tango, spinning the rotary one more time. Swing into the static, voices warmer through the crackle. Shabop, shabop, sixpence in the slot and a breath, just say it, what you meant to say. So speak. Someone had written a number on the wall inside. No name, just the digits and a small drawn heart. I thought about it longer than I should have, then stepped back out into the rain. Honey, some things are better left as questions. The wondering is half the romance anyway. Telephone box, tango, spin and the rotary one more time. Swing into the static, voices warmer through the crackle. Shabop, shabop, sixpence in the slot and a breath, just say it, what you meant to say. So speak. The line went quiet for a moment, then somebody laughed on the other end. Telephone box, tango, pick it up before the ringing stops. Keep on swinging, baby. Some conversations only happen in the rain. Shabop, shabop, back to that same corner, same red box, same nerve, dial tone and courage and grace. The door swung shut behind me, fogged up from the inside. Telephone box, tango, ring again, ring again. She kept 12 hives behind the house, never wore gloves and never got stung. Said the bees knew the difference between fear and respect. Up before the sun to check the frames, moving slow and steady like the morning deserved it. The hum of 40,000 wings at work sounds exactly like contentment if you listen right, baby. Patience isn't waiting around, it's showing up every morning without needing a reason. The beekeeper's waltz, moving through the hives like a slow dance, swing into the hum, let the wings set the tempo. Dee-doo-wah, smoking clover in a summer that just keeps giving, just like honey, sweet and hard-earned, so golden. She said a hive is just a city, everybody working like the whole thing depends on them, because it does, she said and laughed, then handed me a jar still warm from the sun. Honey, the real kind, takes all season, nothing worth having ever came in fast. The beekeeper's waltz, moving through the hives like a slow dance, swing into the hum, let the wings set the tempo. Dee-doo-wah, smoking clover in a summer that just keeps giving, just like honey, sweet and hard-earned, so golden. Dee-doo-wah, dee-doo-wah. One bee landed on her wrist and stayed there. She didn't even look down. The beekeeper's waltz, come back in August when the honey's running. Keep on swinging, baby, slow and steady is its own kind of magic. Dee-doo-wah, back behind that same house, same hive, same hum, wood smoke and wildflowers in grace. The last jar she gave me lasted all winter. The beekeeper's waltz, still humming, still humming, still humming. Only two of us in the whole place, strangers sharing the sound of spinning drums. Neither of us planned to be here at midnight, but here we both are, and honestly fine with it. Fluorescent lights that flicker just enough to feel cinematic. The change machine takes 3 tries, but always comes through. My red sweater bleeding into everything again. Some lessons you just keep not learning. Baby, there's a certain kind of peace in a room where everything is mid-cycle. Laundromat, midnight, tumbling through the small hours together. Swing into the spin, warm air and detergent doing something. Doody-doo, plastic chairs and a vending machine that works just enough. Nothing to do but wait, so wait. She was reading something thick and dog-eared, didn't look up but slid her magazine my way. The unspoken language of people killing time in a place nobody chooses, but everyone needs honey. Solidarity doesn't always need a word. Sometimes it's just sharing the last dryer on the left laundromat. Midnight, tumbling through the small hours together, swinging to the spin, warm air and detergent, doing something. Doody-doo, plastic chairs and a vending machine that works just enough. Nothing to do but wait, so wait. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. The big drum stopped and the room went quiet, and somebody's timer went off, and we both laughed. Laundry mat, midnight, fold everything before it wrinkles and means something. Keep on swinging, baby, clean starts coming, all kinds of shapes. Doody-doo, back at that same machine, same hour, same spin. Warm laundry and borrowed time and grace. Walked home with everything warm against my chest, like something good happened. Laundry mat, midnight, fresh start, fresh start. He came every 6 months without being asked. Carried the same leather case since 1987. Never talked much, but always accepted tea, and always knew exactly what needed fixing. One ear cocked and a tuning fork between his fingers, tapping and listening like the piano had secrets. Working through the keys from bottom to top, like reading a book he'd read 100 times before. Baby master looks like this, quiet and unhurried and absolutely sure. The man who tuned pianos, coaxing every string back into true. Swinging to the overtones, the room slowly coming into focus. Sha-la-la, one note at a time, until the whole thing just sings just right. Patience made audible, so true. He once stopped mid-job and sat completely still. Said, "This one has been played hard and loved harder." You could hear it in the way the hammers hit. Some instruments carry everything that happened to them. Honey, wear and tear isn't damage. Sometimes it's just proof of a life well played. The man who tuned pianos, coaxing every string back into true. Swinging to the overtones, the room slowly coming into focus. Sha-la-la, one note at a time, until the whole thing just sings just right. Patience made audible, so true. Dee-doo-wah. He played one chord when he was done, just one, and then closed the lid gently. The man who tuned pianos come back in spring when the heating shifts the wood. Keep on swinging, baby, everything worth keeping needs a little attention. Sha-la-la-la, same front door, same leather case, same ear, same grace, old strings and steady hands and grace. He left without saying it was done, but I sat down and played. The man who tuned pianos in tune, in tune. Got the last window seat by pure luck, the kind of luck that feels like it means something. Pressed my forehead against the glass and watched the world go soft and gray below. Clouds sitting so close you forget there's a sun up there. The wing disappearing into white every few minutes. The woman next to me was knitting something yellow. Small acts of color in a gray world always win. There's something about being suspended between one place and the next. Window seat on a cloudy day, nowhere and everywhere, all at once. Swing into the gray, let the altitude do the thinking. 30,000 feet in a ginger ale, just drifting through. Nothing to decide up here, so float. Fell asleep somewhere over the middle of things. Woke up to a gap in the clouds and a whole river below. Nobody else seemed to notice, so I kept it like a secret the sky handed me personally. Honey, the world looks less complicated when you're far enough away to see the shape of it. Window seat on a cloudy day, nowhere and everywhere, all at once. Swing into the gray, let the altitude do the thinking. 30,000 feet and a ginger ale, just drifting through. Nothing to decide up here, so float. Sha-la-la-dee-doo-ah, sha-la-la-dee-doo-ah. Flugelhorn solo. The clouds broke open for exactly 4 minutes. I didn't look away once. Window seat on a cloudy day, land somewhere new and carry. She wasn't embarrassed about it either, just narrated her day to the dahlias like they'd been waiting all morning. And honestly, honestly, they probably had. In by 5 before the city remembered itself. Buckets everywhere and rubber boots on the wrong feet. The roses got the morning news. The ferns got a full account of last night's dinner. Baby talking to things that can't talk back is just thinking out loud with better listeners. The florist who talked to flowers, petals perking up right on cue, swinging to the bloom, every stem leaning slightly her way. Do-wah, do-wah, water and words and a little morning light, just doing the work, growing toward the voice so alive. A man came in looking lost, not botanical. She handed him something yellow without asking why. Said yellow means you're gonna be alright. He believed her immediately, and so did I. Honey, some people just know what you need before you've figured out you need it. The florist who talked to flowers, petals perking up right on cue, swinging to the bloom, every stem leaning slightly her way. Do-wah, do-wah, water and words and a little morning light, just doing the work, growing toward the voice so alive. Dee-doo-wah, dee-doo-wah, she whispered something to the last lily. I didn't ask what. The florist who talked to flowers, come back when the season turns and see what's new. Keep on swinging, baby, everything grows better when someone's paying attention. Do-wah, do-wah, back through that same door, same boots, same morning, same green, muddy hands and yellow blooms and grays. Closed at 6, but left the window cracked. The florist who talked to flowers, still listening, still listening. Nobody sees the 4 in the morning version, just the plate that shows up warm and right. But somebody put the stock on at midnight, and somebody's been stirring ever since. Radio low and the whole kitchen to himself, dancing a little between the prep table and the stove. Not performing for anyone, just moving because the music said to. That kind of dancing is the most honest kind. Baby, craft looks different at 4 in the morning. No audience, just the work and the heat and the knife. The night shift cook, feeding a city that doesn't know his name, swinging to the flame, every dish a quiet act of care. Shabbat, Shabbat, cast iron and timing and a pinch of something, just instinct. Nobody watching, so free. He's been at this particular stove for 11 years, knows which burner runs hot and compensates without thinking. Left a better kitchen for this one once, said the hours suited something in him he couldn't name. Honey, some people find their place in the in-between hours, and just instinct. Nobody watching, so free. Dee-doo-ah. Sax, 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 sax. The first order came in at 6 sharp. He played it in like it was the only thing that mattered. The night shift cook coming hungry and leave knowing someone was there. Keep on swinging, baby, the best meals are made by people you never meet. Shabab, shabab, back in that same kitchen, same heat, same hand, same dark. Cast iron and dedication and grace. Clocked out at 7. Walked home in the daylight. The night shift cook still seasoning, still seasoning. She grew up in a house full of places she'd never been. Maps on every wall like windows to somewhere else. Fell asleep to the names of rivers. Woke up already halfway gone. Learned to read a contour line before she read a sentence. Said elevation was just the land's way of showing feeling. Her father marked the world in careful ink. She marked it in the places that marked her back. Baby, some people inherit money. She inherited the need to know what's over the next ridge. The cartographer's daughter, drawing her own edges on the world. Swinging to the unmapped, every blank space is an invitation. Sha-la-la, compass rose an open road, and a name nobody gave it just yet. Making the map as she goes, so found. She called from somewhere with no reliable signal. Said the valley didn't match the survey from 1942. Laughed like that was the best news she'd had all year. It probably was. Honey, the best discoveries aren't places. They're the moment the map runs out and you keep going anyway. The cartographer's daughter, drawing her own edges on the world. Swinging to the unmapped, every blank space is an invitation. Sha-la-la, compass rose an open road, and a name nobody gave it just yet. Making the map as she goes, so found. Dee-doo-ah, frugal horn, solo. She sent a postcard from somewhere unpronounceable. Just 2 words on the back, still going. The cartographer's daughter, leave room at the edge for what you haven't found yet. Keep on swinging, baby, the world keeps being bigger than anyone expected. Sha-la-la, back to that same wall, same map, same hunger, same wide eyes. Ink and distance and grace. The last map she made had a corner left blank on purpose. The cartographer's daughter, still drawing, still drawing. picked up a signal from somewhere mid-Atlantic. Voice so faint, it could have been the static dreaming. But I wrote down every word anyway, just in case it was meant for someone. 47 days since the last supply boat. The gulls have stopped being interesting conversation, so I talk back to the radio instead. It doesn't judge, and sometimes that's everything. Baby, solitude isn't loneliness. It's just you and the ocean having an honest conversation. The lighthouse keeper's radio, pulling voices out of all that dark water, swinging to the frequency somewhere between the static and the real. Doo-dee-doo, crackling transmissions from a world still out there, just out of reach. Light and signal and so steady. There's a fisherman who checks in every Thursday. Never says much, just confirms he's still out there. I confirm the same back. That's enough for both of us, and we both know it. Honey, connection doesn't need to be complicated. Sometimes just knowing someone's listening is the whole thing. The lighthouse keeper's radio, pulling voices out of all that dark water, swinging to the frequency somewhere between the static and the real. Doo-dee-doo, crackling transmissions from a world still out there, just out of reach. Light and signal and so steady. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la-la. The signal faded out around 2 in the morning. I left the radio on anyway. The lighthouse keeper's radio, keep the light turning and the dial open. Keep on swinging, baby. Someone out there is navigating by your signal. Doo-dee-doo, back at that same window, same beam, same dark, same frequency. Static and starlight and grace. The sun came up over the water. I was still at the radio. The lighthouse keeper's radio, still transmitting, still transmitting, still transmitting. Sign in the window said closing soon. had been saying it for about 3 years, so nobody quite believed it until the day we had to. Gerald ran it since before I was born, knew every pressing date of every Blue Note release. Never used a computer, never needed to. Just pointed at the right shelf without looking up. Baby, some knowledge lives in a person and nowhere else, and that's the most fragile kind. The last jazz record shop, flipping through the bins one more time, swinging to the stacks, every sleeve a whole world waiting. Shabop, shabop, Gerald humming along to something only he recognizes. Just background, irreplaceable and so real. He let me sit in the back on slow afternoons, put records on he thought I needed to hear. Never asked if I liked them, just watched my face. Said the face always tells the truth about music. Honey, education doesn't always look like education. Sometimes it's a dusty chair and someone who knows things. The last jazz record shop, flipping through the bins one more time, swinging to the stacks, every sleeve a whole world waiting. Shabop, shabop, Gerald humming along to something only he recognizes. Just background, irreplaceable and so real. Dee-doo-ah. He played one last record on closing day, wouldn't say which one, but we all stayed till it ended. The last jazz record shop, carry what he taught you into every room you enter. Keep on swinging, baby, the music outlasts every shop that ever sold it. Shabba, shabba, back to that same bin. "83 at last count, none of them matching. Every one of them with a story she remembered, all of them. The green one from Edinburgh left by a professor, the broken spoke one she fixed with a chopstick and conviction, the child-sized one she found on a train to nowhere special. Kept it because nobody came back for it, and she understood that. Baby, collecting isn't hoarding, it's just loving things the world forgot to love back. The woman who collected umbrellas, shelter for every kind of storm, swinging to the rain, each one open for a different kind of day. Dee-doo-ah, silk and plastic, and one made of newspaper just for one afternoon. Every one of them so kept. She said umbrellas are the most honest objects. Nobody buys one till they absolutely need it. Then they leave it somewhere the moment the sun comes out. say more about us than the things we keep. The woman who collected umbrellas, shelter for every kind of storm, swinging to the rain, each one open for a different kind of day. Dee-doo-wah, silk and plastic, and one made of newspaper just for an afternoon. Every one of them so kept. Dee-doo-wah, I poured in soul. She opened every single one that afternoon. The hallway looked like a garden in a storm. The woman who collected umbrellas, open one next time you feel the weather turning. Keep on swinging, baby, shelter comes in 83 different shapes at least. Dee-doo-wah, back in that same hallway, same collection, same story, same rain, forgotten objects, and faithful keeping in grace. She offered me one for the walk home. I took the green one from Edinburgh. The woman who collected umbrellas, still collecting, still collecting. Nobody warned me about the stillness, not the animals, the actual stillness. The way the whole studio holds its breath, like something is always mid-transformation. She taught me patience before she taught me anything else. Said rushing is how you lose the thing you're trying to save. Every feather placed like it remembered flying. Every eye set like it still had somewhere to be. Baby, preservation is just another word for love. Holding something exactly as it was. The taxidermist apprentice, learning how to make still things live again. Swing into the craft, every stitch a conversation with time. Sha-la-la, wire and form and something close to reverence, just working hands, bringing back the gone so careful. A fox came that someone found by the road. She worked 3 days without saying much. When she finished, she stood back and looked at it a long time. Said, that's the closest we get to keeping something. Honey, nothing lasts forever, but some things last longer when someone decides they should. The taxidermist apprentice, learning how to make still things live again. Swing into the craft, every stitch a conversation with time. Sha-la-la, wire and form and something close to reverence, just working hands, bringing back the gone so careful. Dee-doo-wah. asking the taxidermist apprentice, carry the stillness into everything you make. Keep on swinging, baby, the thing's worth keeping. Always ask something of you. Sha-la-la, back in that same studio, same light, same quiet, same hands, patience and preservation and grace. Walked home with sawdust on my coat, didn't brush it off till morning. The taxidermist apprentice, still learning, still learning. She called the number from a card that was older than her coffee table. Said the man who gave it to her had been gone 15 years, but tried anyway. His son picked up and said, yes, still doing it. Came the following Tuesday with the same leather case, same unhurried knock, same way of accepting tea. Some things get inherited without anyone deciding, baby. There are jobs that carry ghosts, and the ghosts make the work better, not worse. The piano tuner's last house call, generations in the same leather case, swing into the overtones, the room remembering how to sound like itself. Do-I, middle C, finding its way home after years, just one note. Everything follows, so true. She watched him work the way she'd watched his father. Same tilt of the head, same stillness between strikes. Asked if he remembered coming here as a boy. He said, I remember the cookies and the out-of-tune D. Honey, memory lives in the strangest coordinates. A note, a smell, a creak of a particular floor. The piano tuner's last house call, generations in the same leather case, swing into the overtones, the room remembering how to sound like itself. Do-I, middle C, finding its way home after years, just one note. Everything follows, so true. He played the same chord his father always played. When finished, she recognized it immediately and had to sit down. The piano tuner's last house call, keep the piano and keep calling the number. Keep on swinging, baby. Some relationships outlast the people who started them. Do-I, back in that same living room, same keys, same quiet, same craft, inherited hands and remembered notes and grace. He left the card on the piano lid, his number now. The piano tuner's last house The shop had no sign, just a smell that found you from the street. Glue and leather and something older that doesn't have a name in any language. He worked at a bench that predated electricity by considerable margin and didn't apologize. Each book came in broken and left whole. He never seemed to think this was remarkable. Baby, some people fix things so quietly. The world never notices how much they're holding together. The bookbinder of Rue Clement, spine by spine, putting stories back together. Swing into the craft, linen thread and bone folder, doing the talking. Shabba, shabba. Pages that were falling out now pressed together just like new. Bound and whole again, so restored. A woman brought in her grandmother's recipe book, held together by habits and very little else. He handled it like it was still warm, promised it back in 3 weeks, and meant every day of it. Honey, restoration is an act of faith, believing the broken thing deserves to last. The bookbinder of Rue Clement, spine by spine, putting stories back together. Swing into the craft, linen thread and bone folder, doing the talking. Shabba, shabba. Pages that were falling out now pressed together just like new. Bound and whole again, so restored. He hummed something while he worked, the same 4 bars on a loop all afternoon. The bookbinder of Rue Clement, bring him anything worth saving and he'll save it. Keep on swinging, baby. The things that fall apart are asking to be put back together. Shabba, shabba. Back down that same street, same smell, same bench, same hands, linen, thread and leather and grace. Picked up the recipe book on a Thursday. She cried a little in the doorway. The bookbinder of Rue Clement, still binding, still binding. Woke up and decided today was gonna be ridiculous in the best possible way. Put on the shoes I never wear and went looking for trouble of the delightful kind. Stopped at every flower stand between here and nowhere. Bought one thing from every cart that smelled interesting. The pretzel guy remembered me from last spring. We picked up exactly where we left off. Baby, the city is a different animal when you decide to let it surprise you. Sunny today so bright. A dog in a sweater made my entire afternoon. Its owner shrugged like this was just Tuesday, which apparently it was, and that made it better. Regular magic is the best kind of magic. Honey, happiness isn't waiting for something big. It's the pretzel guy and the dog in the sweater on the same block. Sunny side of the street, dodging shadows just on principle. Swing into the good side, the light's better over here anyway. Sha-la-la, strangers smiling back, because why not just because? Nothing heavy today so bright. Sha-la-la, dee-doo-wah. Somebody was whistling from a window above. I whistled back and kept walking. Sunny side of the street, come back tomorrow and do the whole thing again. Keep on swinging, baby. The good side of the street is a daily decision. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Back on that same sidewalk, same sun, same ridiculous shoes. Pretzel, salt, and dog sweaters and Grace got home later than planned. Didn't mind one bit. Sunny side of the street. Stay bright, stay bright, stay bright, stay bright, stay bright, stay bright. The sign said free refills, and I took that as a personal invitation. Third cup in, and I had solved at least 4 problems that weren't mine to solve. The booth was red and slightly too small, which made it feel like being hugged by a diner. Jukebox in the corner playing something nobody requested, but everyone secretly needed. Baby, some places run on caffeine and goodwill, and that turns out to be plenty. Free refills, bottomless and absolutely no judgment. Swinging to the 4th cup, the afternoon has nowhere to be. Sha-la-la, pie on the counter and a waitress who calls everyone honey, just like that. Living the dream so refilled. The couple in the next booth were arguing about nothing, then laughing about the same nothing. 5 minutes later, the cook rang the bell for an order nobody claimed, then ate it himself, and I respected that completely. Honey, the best diners run on cheerful chaos, and somehow everything comes out exactly right. Free refills, bottomless and absolutely no judgment. Swinging to the 4th cup, the afternoon has nowhere to be. Sha-la-la, pie on the counter and a waitress who calls everyone honey, just like that. Living the dream so refilled. Dee-doo-wah, dee-doo-wah, dee-doo-wah. She refilled my cup mid-sentence without breaking eye contact with someone across the room. Free refills, come back anytime the bottomless cups ain't good chaos. Bottomless coffee and pie and grace. Left a good tip, came back the next day. Free refills, keep 'em coming, keep 'em coming. Yeah. Pull the hat from the back of the closet, one I forgot I owned. Put it on and instantly became a slightly more interesting version of myself. Walked out the door with new hat energy, which is a very specific kind of confidence. The barista noticed and said, "Nice hat," and that was already the best thing that happened all week. Baby accessories are underrated therapy. Sometimes all you need is a brim and an attitude. Hat day, tipping it to strangers just because. Swinging to the strut, the sidewalk belongs to whoever owns their look. D-do-I, head held higher than usual, just like that. A hat changed everything so easy. Ran into someone I'd been avoiding for months. The hat gave me enough confidence to wave first. They waved back, and that was that. Resolved by millinery, I highly recommend it. Honey, half a life is just showing up. The other half is showing up in the right hat. Hat day, tipping it to strangers just because. Swinging to the strut, the sidewalk belongs to whoever owns their look. D-do-I, head held higher than usual, just like that. A hat changed everything so easy. Sha-la-la-la, 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 sha-la-la-la-la. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la. A pigeon landed near my feet and looked up. I tipped the hat attitude. Hat day, wear the good one on a regular Tuesday. Just do it, keep on swinging, baby. Life is too short for hats that stay on the shelf. D-do-I, back out that same door, same street, new hat, new everything. Good posture and hat energy and grace. Hung it by the door this time, so I remember tomorrow. Hat day, tip it again, tip it again, tip it again.